Because lately in the news, there's some stuff going on with a country over, in, or near like Eastern Europe that stirred up a few things. And lately, or I think it was last week, a drone getting hit by a flanker. What are your thoughts? Like, do you think that was intentional? I mean, we can talk strategic, we can talk tactical. Again, these are just some random opinions. But when you saw that footage, what did you think?
When I saw the footage, wild. Absolutely wild. The MQ-9's obviously got great quality, and watched the entire thing. The fuel dump tactic is not something that I have considered before on an intercept, but it could be a new thing. But initially, what I kind of thought about it is, I think that was really dumb on the side of the pilots, the Russian flanker pilots, in my opinion. I think the take that I have on the entire thing is looking back across. I like to look at just military history and how near conflicts and proxy conflicts have potentially either started or been avoided. And I think as a fighter pilot in 2023, the kind of like we talked about on the very first bro chat that I was on, is like, what does the future war look like? And whether it's going to be major combat operations or whether it's going to be proxy wars or anything of that nature, and force on force or anything like that. I think these are the types of things that every fighter pilot has to be aware of, that their own actions are going to have strategic consequences. They're going to hop over operational consequences and go right to strategic consequences. And we as American fighter pilots are hopefully aware of it. Hopefully the other side that we are in conflict with is also aware of it. And just my thought on the whole thing was how it was conducted was, I doubt that was directed by any sort of upper echelon authority. If it was, then sounds great. That I would prefer they did not do that.
Right.
Based on some of the things, and we've seen this before. Like one of the things that, and me and my brother were talking about it. My brother, he's a professor at Naval War College. We talk about these kind of things. But another thing was, like, in the Cuban Missile Crisis, is the Cuban government directed the shoot down of the U-2 about 12 days into the crisis. And then we put Minutemen ICBMs on alert pointed at Russia. And so when you're looking at the people that are just a part of these conflicts, in this case, 2 fighter pilots, their action unintentional, because I don't think he would like to hit another aircraft.
Right.
So I hope that the midair was actually unintentional. These things can have just massive strategic implications, and that's something that you have to be aware of. And I thought overall, the tactic that they elected to choose was obviously pretty irresponsible. And then you could just have some massive world ramifications on the world that we didn't anticipate nor want. Because at the moment, we are still kind of just supplying and working with Ukraine in their war against Russia. But if that were to happen against a manned aircraft, that would go sideways in a hurry. So I just hope that kind of stuff just gets knocked off pretty quick.
It is a good point, because it could be a 26-year-old. I don't know what the structure of the Russian Air Force is, right? But let's take your one each fighter squadron in the United States or Europe or Western world. Very well, the average age inside that formation is somewhere around 26, 27, 28 years old. And the ramifications for a wild action can send a world into World War III. So again, you hope that it was just a reckless action. And looking at it, like, to me, that's what I would think, because what pilot wants to hit another aircraft? And if you're going to take down a drone, I mean, where that happened in the world, I think you probably very easily could have hung back at a few miles and slung a missile at it, and you have taken it out, and it'd been very difficult for anyone to prove that the drone just didn't go lost link and ditch into the sea, So taking all those risks to actually take down a drone in such an inefficient manner is wild.
And I agree. The whole thing is absolutely a insane case study in just how things can go, and when you don't really have a plan with the two sides. And so when we don't really have a plan on how we want to handle escalation in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, is if we don't necessarily have a plan for that, then these are the types of things that can go sideways quick, because if we're not able to just stop, it's like, nope, you know what? That's not according to plan. We can handle this in a diplomatic way. Then we can avoid these major conflicts. It was kind of like on the second bro chat that I was on, when we talked about shooting down balloons, is I was concerned about if we shot down a balloon or any sort of suborbital ISR, that would open up our suborbital ISR to certain things that other countries could be like, okay, well, now if there's somebody that is spying on us, we can shoot it down. Right. Are we allowed to do that now? Obviously, this situation is massively different between the two sides of on like an actual aircraft versus a balloon, even though we could make arguments all day long. But I mean, the game is changing. And we just want to be on the right side and be able to say and have a leg to stand on to say that what we're doing is correct and that they were the irresponsible ones, which I think it is in this case, on just a tactic that was just two fighter pilots trying to do something. They were probably told to upper echelon, go intercept this thing. Don't dump fuel on it and run into it. Is probably didn't need to be said. But maybe that's something that was said in their pilot meeting on a Friday or something, or something like that.
We're going to need to debrief this one, fellas.
Yeah, fellas, we're going to debrief this one.
The fuel dump on it. Now that everyone in the world has watched the fuel dumping flanker, you can obviously see, I think, how inefficient that was. And then if the camera hadn't even been staring at it, like, what are you trying to do? Like, even if you hit it with fuel, like, it's still going to see you.
Yeah, I think whatever. It's just a thing. I don't know. But
the interesting part of it too, I did see that they're going to be awarded some kind of Russian medal for something. But I think in the face of saving things and then Putin becoming an international war criminal, all in the same. It's been a busy weekend, you know. So
busy weekend.
Things are changing fast, you know.
Absolutely.
Well, Flash, I appreciate your take on that. Again, it's interesting. And again, with that too, it's like, no one really knows. Only those two dudes sitting inside the cockpit, and then depending on what transpired between them and their upper echelon. But looking at it, just seems like this is a super inefficient way if you wanted to take down a drone to collide with it and then allow the world to watch you do it via high definition footage, you know? So
yeah, exactly.
Hindsight.